Hi everybody. Good afternoon, and welcome to today's session of the BTS Virtual AI series. My name is Dominique, and I am a part of the Black Tech Saturdays team. And we want to thank you all for taking time out of your day, especially a Tuesday, to learn with us and continue building your confidence and skill set with and around an AI. I'm sorry, with and around AI. But more so, today we're stepping into the creative space, the creative world where technology and imagination meet. So I'm excited to introduce our host, Emmanuel Afolabi. I promise I hope that I pronounced your last name correctly. Emmanuel is a Detroit-based filmmaker, creative director, and founder of Fola Studios, known for blending cinematic craft with authentic human storytelling. In today's session, creative work in AI, design, video, music, and storytelling, we're going to explore how AI can support and elevate the creative process without replacing originality. And so you're going to learn a ton of information from Emmanuel. We're super excited and honored to have him leading us this afternoon. And we're going to go ahead and get started. And the floor is yours, Emmanuel.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining this discussion and this workshop. Before we start, can I just get everyone's location? Like, where are you joining from? Are you here in Detroit or are you a transplant? If you can just comment or put it on the chat, that would be awesome. So everybody know where everyone is from. Oh wow, Los Angeles, Detroit. Wow, that's amazing. Wow. Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much, Lansing. Okay, amazing. But yeah, that's pretty much whether you're from here or you find your way here. This talk is about making sure Detroit creatives, own the future or where or all creatives own the future and of storytelling and not just watch it happen. I think a lot of the time we sometimes sit on the sideline and just watch things move by so fast. And sometimes we don't get the opportunity to be part of it. And that's why this discussion and this workshop is about. Um, yeah, so I'm just gonna when I just gonna give you guys a little story about me and how I got started into this. When I was 16, I got my first camera, and it was a very cheap camera that I bought just right outside of graduating high school, and I was able to save up some money to get the camera, and I just used that camera and I filmed and photographed everything, my friends, my family, my just different people. I was just taking a bunch of photos and just random people on the streets. I was filming them and I didn't know what I was doing technically, right? But I knew that I was obsessed with capturing real moments, messy moments, unpredictable and beautiful moments. And fast forward now, I'm in my late 20s and I am Nigerian born and I live in Detroit and I run my own production company with some of my partners and friends. And I'm still obsessed with the same thing, which is telling humans stories. But here's what's different now, right? Today, it's not just me taking photos anymore or filming anymore. I don't just rely on my camera, my eyes, and my creative abilities. Now I have a creative partner, and the creative partner that I have now is AI, right? And I know people love to ask, is AI going to replace filmmakers? Is AI gonna take my job? Is AI gonna replace designers, creatives? But what I want you guys to know is AI can't replace you, but it's your best collaborator, right? So it can't replace you as a human being, but it's the best collaborator you've ever had. And that's what I'm here to talk about. Um, and I just want to talk about how AI fits into my creative process and why it should fit into your creative process and why Detroit creative needs to own this shift instead of reacting to it. So I'm just gonna move on to the next slide. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, so this is what I'm covering. My journey, which some of you already know, and then AI, my creative process, what AI can't do, the big picture for Detroit creatives, and my creative vision for our production company called Fola Studios, and a call to action. So that's pretty much what I'll be talking about in this presentation. And I'll share, just what we're building and how we can all just get involved. Okay. 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 So I've already shared my story. Um, Yeah, over the last 10 years, I've built a career as a filmmaker and a creative entrepreneur, and I've worked with brands and artists and community leaders. I've worked with brands like Apple, Shinola, Nike, Adidas, just some of the top brands. And I've worked with them to, just see how community thrives and also see how project thrives. And also over the past years, I've also seen how they've completely failed, right? Or how they've fallen apart, based on how well people adapt to change, right? And it's very important as human beings to always adapt to change because, as the time is going by, and I know you guys have noticed how time just goes by and years goes by. So time really doesn't wait for anybody. So it's very important to adapt to change. And that's why I pretty much what you guys through this already, but the heartbeat of what I'm doing at Fola Studios is we're not just making content, we're building creative infrastructure in Detroit, and that means blending storytelling and technology, so creative work smarter without losing their voice. And AI is a huge part of that. This is just a behind the scene process of when Apple was here and they hired us to create the content, and it was shot on iPhone, and that's Tim Cook, and that's me in the back. And this is what we do now, some behind the scene process. As you can see, that's me in common, and just me on set and the kind of technologies we use now. And like I said, it all started with just a camera, just a small camera, a DSLR camera, and it's grown into what it is now, right? But now, right next to my camera, right, I have ChatGPT and I have Midjourney. I still have my camera and I have DaVinci Resolve, right? So yeah, so today my camera just looks a lot different. It's not just the camera anymore. It's the tools that are used to better the storytelling. And yeah, AI is my brainstorm partner. So this is a little kind of walkthrough of how it plays out. So client comes to me with half kind of baked idea, location changes, timeline shrinks, and that's very normal in the industry. But the difference now is I feed that chaos into AI, right? For example, with ChatGPT, I feed it into ChatGPT and it feeds me back clarity, right? For example, there was a project that we did with Gatorade, and it was for example, yeah, we wanted to film some shots that we just don't have the budget for. So we were able to go into apps like Midjourney, and we filmed some parts with our actual camera, but we're able to go into some the AI tools and generate some videos. So this wide shot video that you guys see is a shot that was generated, but I'm going to play the video for you guys so you guys can see and you guys can tell me which part is AI and which is not, or if you can even tell the difference.
They don't see the work, they just see the win. But it's earned in silence, in pain, when no one's watching. You swing anyway. You rise, you break through. Gatorade, earned, not given.
Awesome. But yeah, so that's a perfect example of how we use AI in today's day and age, right? So this Gatorade project is a perfect example, and AI helped me brainstorm the core concept, right? The structure, the treatment, and even draft the deck that I was able to send to the client. But if you notice, this walking shot is an actual person, is an actual boxer that we had,
They don't see.
and that was in AI. We still have to get some of the shots, right? Him boxing, him kicking, and things like that. And then when we get to more of like an experimental shot that it just feels larger than life, and we just don't have the budget for, like this shot, for example, we had to bring in AI to generate the image. And honestly, I think without these shots, with the other shots that you guys have seen, it really wouldn't make the story complete because it would just be him walking into the gym and boxing, right? And kicking and boxing. Um, but now that you've seen this shot, it's like, whoa, it kind of gives it something that feels larger than life. This is another shot as well of a stadium, a boxing rink that just kind of gives it a larger than life moment. If we were to film this and go into a boxing ring and fill it out, it will cost tons of money, right? Like thousands and thousands of money. Um, and even if we were to add in some CGI effects to it, it would still cost money. But we were able to generate this between, less than an hour, right? And it's all free, right? It's all free tools, obviously with some subscription. But the cost of having to film it versus having to generate it isn't comparable, right? So that's kind of where we're heading. And to me, I truly believe that AI saves a lot of time and just hours, right? When it comes to things like this, right? Some of the underwater shots as well here of him kind of boxing is also generated, and we were able to add it in so it flows really well, right? Even some of the sound design that we used, right? Sound design is a very heavy.
The work. They just see the win.
So yeah, so moving on to my next slide. Here, doesn't hold the camera, but it shifts the vision, right? So um after the shoot, AI was able to save us just hours syncing audio, generating captions, and even coming up with voiceovers. And even when it comes to cutting the stories together, I was able to communicate with ChatGPT, and it means less time just, you know, editing, and I can focus on other projects while this is saving me a lot of time, right? And yeah, and it just makes more time making creative. I have more time to make creative choices, that actually matters now. So yeah, so I totally believe that it also just saves a lot of time, right? And it doesn't hold the camera, but it also shapes the vision. Um, And this is where we are now. Just kind of going to the basis of our conversation. AI is reshaping creativity. Will Detroit lead or follow? And this talk in that that this presentation isn't just about me and what I do with AI. It's how AI is already disrupting the industry, right? Filmmaking, design, photography, you name it. We hear it on the news every time. People who are graduating undergrad and not receiving or not having a job in the job market due to AI. It's not, it's a talk that is, I believe, here to stay and is growing, and it's already just disrupting the industry. But the only question is, will Detroit creative lead this shift or just react to it, right? We've been known for so many amazing things, and I think it's time we are known for stepping into the creative industry, especially when it comes to AI. Um, because if we stay passive, we will be consumers and not creators, and we will, kind of rent the tools, but we won't own the process. So, yeah. But it's also very important to talk about what AI can't replace, right? as I started the conversation, I know a lot of people when they hear AI, there's always a feeling of just not knowing, right? But what's is very important to know what AI can replace, right? AI, you know, can't replace the human power that you have, right? And that's kind of where our real power lives, right? AI can't really like the treatment in a way that a human being can when it comes to like a film treatment. AI can generate it can generate visuals, but it can't grow up in Detroit, right? It can't understand what it's like to come from Detroit, or for example, what it's like to come from Nigeria and move to the US. AI can understand what that's like. Only you can understand what that's like. It can't walk into a room full of um people, whether that be elders or at the hospital, and know when to put the camera down and just listen. AI can't do that. Those are just human traits that you we learn from just being human, right? It can't know the weight of telling your own story because nobody else will if you don't, right? And that's the cultural instinct and emotional intelligence that AI can't replicate pretty much. And these are just, again, some behind the scenes that were captured in different places, in different cities, different countries, of just us at work, right? Things AI can't replace. And which led me to the kind of lived experience of the production company, right? So at Fola Studios, adaptability isn't just learning new tech, it's knowing what to protect, right? The part of your creative that only comes from lived experience. And that's pretty much our production company. We're building this creative infrastructure for Detroit. And yeah, Fola Studios is this is some of the work we've done. And we've launched it because it's not just about making content. It's we're building this infrastructure, a hub where AI and storytelling can meet, and it's rooted right here in Detroit, right? And this is just some of the human work that we're able to, just tell through AI, but also to real human interactions. Okay, I'm trying to move on to the next slide. One sec. Okay, and yeah, so that's just kind of getting to the end of my conversation. Lived experience, cultural instinct, emotional intelligence, that's our superpower. And yeah, so if you're a, designer, a filmmaker, someone who own a brand, a creative, um, there's still stories that you can tell that is still very much part of you. And that's pretty much a superpower. And yeah, and I pretty much walked you guys through my vision for my production company. It's, a creative hub, as I mentioned, and it's we're training the next generation to own the tools and not just use them. And we help brands and organizations and businesses to tell authentic stories faster, smarter, and better. And yeah, so before we wrap up, I just want to take the time to ask you guys, I want to leave you guys with this. What's one creative task you hate doing, but here I could probably help with, right? So if you think about a creative task that you hate doing, you absolutely don't want to do it, but AI can help you he help you do it. I want you to think about that, and then flip that with what's one thing AI could never do the way you do it, right? So that's that one thing that AI just can't do that only you are able to do. So that's your creative lane when you think about it, and I want you guys to own it and protect it and let AI help you amplify it. So thank you for your time and your energy and your creativity, and really appreciate you guys joining this workshop. So
Emmanuel, so thank you so much for sharing all that information. So I know that there's a question in the chat. If we don't have a camera, what AI tools can we use?
yeah, so if you don't have a camera, the AI tools, let me go back to my slide. The AI tools that is I use ChatGPT, right? It's a good tool. And I know by now everybody should be familiar with what a ChatGPT is. And for me, I use it as almost like a brainstorming session where I ask questions, and now you can even just have a conversation, right? It's almost like talking to someone, right? And you can have these conversations with ChatGPT and just have a brainstorm session. If you don't have a brainstorm partner, you can have this brainstorm session. So me personally, I use ChatGPT to yeah, to generate ideas. And then I use Midjourney to kind of come up with idea. I know someone says Gemini and Bing. Yeah, those are great tools as well. But yeah, that just me personally, these are the tools that I use.
Thank you for that. So, a question that I have, more so, and it could be helpful for the group as well, is are there any type of um, base prompts that you could give that you could provide us with that you think would be helpful? I know everybody has different creative things that they're working on, but just for the sake of, video or, storytelling, do you think there are some top essentials that should be included in the prompts to kind of help people start to get creative concepts or stories
Yeah, yeah,
that you think
totally.
would be good to use?
Yeah, I'm actually going to see if I can share my screen and demonstrate um just how I use ChatGPT. And
Fantastic.
let's see. Let me see if I can share my screen. Awesome. So this is my layout for my ChatGPT, my personal ChatGPT. I think I'm paying like $20 a month for it. I do a lot of work on it, so the subscription is justified, but there is a free version for people who don't can't afford the kind of higher version. I think this is the 5.1. And yeah, so for example, I'm gonna walk you guys through this demonstration. Um and it's perfect and it's smart. This is a dictator. Once you click it, it just kind of it records your voice and it knows exactly what you want. So um I'm gonna give I'm gonna talk to the dictator, the dictating audio tool, right? And I'm just gonna give it a simple prompt, right? And the prompt is, I have a brand who is looking to create social media content for their weekly post. And the name of the brand is Black Tech Saturdays. And I want you to help me come up with 5 weekly ideas and different diverse ideas to help the brand, and also come up with the low cost, cheapest way to film and record the brand. And that's pretty much it. Obviously, it needs to take time, and you kind of look at it, make sure everything is accurate. This is exactly what I said. And you send it, and you wait till for ChatGPT to give you the ideas. It's so simple, and it's just, like I said, just effortless. And it saves a lot of time, right? Obviously, these are just the ideas, right? Number one, tech in 60 seconds, right? And it gave me some examples. What does AI actually do? What's the start of MVP? Number two, Founders Friday. I mean, that actually sounds great. Founders Friday, you know, founders intro, what they're building, challenges. Number three, inside the event, right? Black Tech Saturdays has a lot of events. Um, Tech Meet Busters, BTS stories, why we show up. And also the cheapest way to film, right? iPhone, small wireless lav, and just stand them near a plain wall or good window. Just stuff that just is easy to just generate, right? So that's my way. Obviously, I do this with like bigger brands, but this is like the micro way for you guys to to work with, to work with ChatGPT, right? But still, t you can take all this and you can refine it, right? You can refine it, and you can expand it, you can edit it, you can make it personal to the brand. Um, and but this is just an idea. Now you have to go out there and film, right? You have to bring the camera and you have to film. So that's what I was talking about. This just generate an idea, but you still have to get out there and make it work. But yeah, that's just a demonstration of how amazing these tools are.
Awesome. Anyone else have any questions for Emmanuel? Anything specific to what your expertise is and the creativity around storytelling or visuals? Definitely, I think this would be a great time for you to utilize him as a resource because I know we're all busy people. So, want to open up the floor. Anyone else? Okay. All right. And then another question here for you. Not There was another app that you were mentioning that's like for text and image. What is that also AI as well?
Yeah, it's AI, and also because ChatGPT has gotten so advanced, um, you have it right here inside ChatGPT, right? It's called the AI image generator, and it's very simple. You
Mhm.
just again, there's a dictate right here, and it would generate. Um, it, for example, if I'm imagining something in my head and I just don't have the right references, maybe I've searched to Pinterest, I've searched to Google Images and I just can't find it. You can
Mhm.
just simply describe what that looks like and it would generate the image for you. So yeah, I mean, I would advise people to get the if you can afford it. I think it's $20 a month. Um, but if you can't, I think the free version is also just is there and is free and it's easy to use and it works the same way. And the thing about ChatGPT is over time, the more you use it, the more it recognizes what you do and the more it helps you or tailor what you do for you, if that makes sense. So yeah, and I can see in the comments people are already mentioning some AI tools like Weavy AI, that helps organize creating asset for ads or shorts. Um, yeah, like Cloudio AI, platforms and things like that. Yeah, so there's a bunch of them now. I know when it first started, there was only just maybe a few of them, but I think now it's just a bunch of them that works really fine as well. But yeah, if you guys have any question that you'd like to ask pertaining to my production company or how we're implementing AI or what we're doing in the future, please you can send it to the chat or you can simply email as well.
Yeah, I think you had a QR code as well, Emmanuel, for people to um scan. Do you have that? Could you show that to
Yeah,
us? How we can find you?
yeah, let me go. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, so follow us at folastudios.co on Instagram, LinkedIn, and even TikTok, I think. And this is the QR code that leads to our website. Um, yeah, feel free to scan it. And yeah, if you have any more questions, please DM us and we will reply to you, and you will find our emails on our website and as well as on our Instagram if you have any question. Yeah, but please feel free to follow and feel free to follow up.
All right. Now, everybody, go ahead. Let's give Emmanuel a round of applause. Thank you for sharing these insights with us. And I love how you integrated human elements or human experiences with the actual like AI, because you really couldn't tell. Like when he was in the pool, it kind of reminded me of Muhammad Ali. I don't know if y'all have ever seen that picture of him, but that was very artistic and creative. Um, Yes, no, thank you so much. And everybody, so I know that we've shared, I think some folks have shared their LinkedIn URLs. Make sure we're staying connected with each other, right? Make sure you're putting that in the chat so that we can follow each other, support each other. I know that we had a couple introductions earlier, so definitely want to make sure that we are staying in touch with the amazing work that you're doing. But thank you, Emmanuel, for sharing that insight with us. And so just want to do a couple quick reminders before we close. So the recording of today's session, it will be available on our blacktechsaturdays.com site within the next week. That's where you'll be able to revisit and rewatch this recording so that you can get the information that Emmanuel gave us and shared with us. Our next workshop, it is going to be this Thursday. Goodness, time is flying by very, very fast. But the next workshop is this Thursday from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is a session about AI powered prototyping, feedback, and MVP creation. And Aaron Lawler is going to be hosting that workshop, which I'm also super excited for. You can find the registration link in our newsletter as well as all across our Black Tech Saturday social channels. And then the third thing I wanted to remind you all on is we have a BTS virtual AI showcase coming up. So if you've attended one or more workshops, because I've seen a lot of familiar names, if you want to, or if you have attended one or more workshops and you want to participate, whether you have built something, experimented with AI tools that you learned about, or the prompts, or just learned something valuable, we would love to feature you during the showcase. There's going to be a sign up link in the email that will be sent to you exactly at 1 o'clock. It may be in your promotions folder, but it will be from Black Tech Saturdays where you can sign up and you can be a participant, and we would love to have you. But thank you again for spending your Tuesday afternoon with us. We appreciate your commitment to pouring into yourselves and connecting with each other. And I hope you have a great rest of the day. And I hope to see you all, some of you all on Thursday. So
Great
take
job,
care.
Dominique. Great job, Emmanuel. Appreciate you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Gary. We appreciate you.
Have a good one.
You too.
Awesome. Bye, guys. Thank you so much.